Hey there, I'm Kevin BINUYA from Group 3 of 9 Curie, and I want to show you this, an atom. All matter is made up of atoms, and atoms have its nucleus made up of protons, or positive charges, and neutrons, or neutral charges. Orbiting the nucleus are loosely bonded electrons, or negative charges. So we can say that all matter is made up of charges. Let's dig deeper. Electrons are the only ones transferred to either make an object charged positively or negatively. Let us also take note that same charges repel and opposite charges attract. Here we have Luis Gallo, my friend and groupmate, to join us with our experiment.
Hi besties! Now for our task experiment, we have a balloon, a light string, to hang the balloon, fabric or hair, tissue paper, and aluminum can. Let's start! First, let's try to bring this balloon to the other balloon. Nothing happens. Second, this tissue paper. Nothing happens. Third, let's have the aluminum can. Also nothing happens.
Luis, would you mind to do it again, but rub the objects on the fabric?
Sure! Let's now bring the second balloon closer to our first balloon. Look, it repels each other. Now, let's have this tissue paper. Whoa! The balloon sticks to it due to the attraction. Last, let's have this aluminum can. The balloon is also attracted to it.
Very interesting, isn't it?
Oh yeah! Mind explaining it to them how it happened?
Sure. Thank you for the experiment, by the way.
No prob, just a piece of cake, or maybe 2 or 3. Depends on how ravenous I am.
Okay, I'll now explain the repellence that happened between the two balloons. When the first balloon was rubbed on the fabric, it actually transferred negative charges from the fabric to the balloon's surface, making the surface negatively charged. The same happened with the second balloon after rubbing it on the fabric, making its surface negatively charged. So what happens when negative charges are near with negative charges? They repel. Second, when the balloon was rubbed on the fabric, negative charges were transferred to it from the fabric. Now, when the tissue paper is placed close to the negatively charged balloon, polarization happens and makes the negative charges of the tissue paper repelled to the back, and positive charges are there near the negatively charged balloon, therefore causing an attraction because opposite charges attract. Third, negative charges were transferred from the fabric to the balloon, making it negatively charged. After bringing the aluminum can close to the negatively charged balloon, polarization happens to the can, making the negative charges go the opposite side. This makes the positive charges of the can closer to the negative charges of the balloon, unlike the negative charges of the can that are farther away. The same happens with newspaper and comb that has been run on someone's hair. The comb becomes negatively charged due to transfer of negative charges from the hair to the comb. The negatively charged pieces of paper will experience polarization, making the positive charges closer to the negative charges of the comb and the negative charges of the paper farther away from the negative charges of the comb. Since the negative charges of the paper are farther, they experience less force, of which in this case is repellence. Meanwhile, the positive charges of the paper are closer to the negative charges of the comb, making it experience more force of attraction and be attracted to the comb. But let's also not forget that electron transfer depends on the electron affinity of the two objects. The one with greater electron affinity or love of electrons will receive the electrons from the one with lesser electron affinity. You may also refer to these triboelectric charts, wherein the lower in the list, the greater is its electron affinity. For example, a plastic comb is rubbed with wool. Plastic comb has greater electron affinity, so negative charges will be transferred from the wool to the plastic cone. Next is we have a glass object that is rubbed with silk. Since the glass object has lesser electron affinity than the silk, the glass will lose negative charges and will be transferred to the silk, making the glass object positively charged. And when the comb and glass is brought together, they attract because opposite charges attract.
This finally concludes our video presentation of our output. Together with my partner, Kevin, we thank you for listening. Bye!